organization, and I brought them in to let us know what their services are and what they have to offer the world. So I guess my first question to you guys is, why did you start the foundation?
Well, started the program because, well, I actually met I'm a web developer, and I met someone named Michael D. Haynes, and he is a motivational speaker that goes around. He talks to different business owners about customer service and accessibility in the workplace and in their business. He he has a website, and he has a disability. He has cerebral palsy, and he makes about $900 per month. It's not enough to sustain a living, and he was asking me questions on how to bring leads to his website, and the website that he had did not have. It wasn't professional enough for him to book some of the gigs that he was looking to get. So I decided to put this program together so that, guys like Michael can get a polished website for free, and they can get support and mentorship on how to get business, how to attract business to their website. But and I just wanted to clarify that OneLove is just a project; it's not a foundation. I am a part of the Ishin Institute, and I guess Gary can speak more on the sort of things that we do over there. But the OneLove is just a project. We're just giving free websites for every time. For every time a small business buys a website, we donate a website. It sort of works. It's sort of like Tom Shoes. Tom Shoes is a company where they make shoes, but every time they sell a shoe, they donate a shoe to somewhere in Africa where they don't have access to the resource to be able to buy school or shoes to go to school, etc. So it's I kind of built that program around that model.
I guess my other question is, how come I've never heard of you before? I mean, I try to keep up on a lot of things, and I just heard of you last week. So I'm like, wow, you've got such a great project here, and it's just because a lot of people, I have friends that want to start businesses, and the cost of web design is just astronomical. So
well, I think that's why we're here, and I want to thank you for bringing me onto the program. I started it quietly because I didn't want to, because this is not a vanity project.
okay.
This is something that I do because I'm happy to do it, and it's not that it makes me feel better. I just do it because I can, and I've always been about building communities and volunteering my time, and this was just a way for me to do it. And so it's been a private project. So anytime I come across someone, I'll mention it, but I didn't, advertise it.
Okay, that's all good. I was like, it's such a great project, right? From what you've explained here, what kind of businesses have you had contact you that you've been able to build sites for?
Well, the first site that I built a site for Michael, and I sponsored him. So, and it's so funny that as soon as I built that website, every day I get notifications that he's promoting the site. He's like, check out my new site, check out my new site. It was awesome. But he was the first person I sponsored. In order for me to keep this program growing, I can't sponsor everybody, but I think that every business that wants to support someone within their community and they want to sponsor them, all they have to do is buy a website through Bowtie Creative, and they immediately sponsor somebody with a disability, whether they choose or we choose. We're still sorting that out, how we will facilitate allocating the free websites to people with disabilities. But and what we'll do is when they buy a website, we're going to mention them on our website, and we're going to show their association with the person that they're donating the website to.
Perfect. Yeah. That's great for both sides. Both sides get a little promotion there. That's a great fun. So how long have you been doing this?
Well, I've been doing graphic design for, oh my god, like 15 years.
Oh wow.
I met Gary when I was 17. So I've been doing it, and Gary has mentored me along the way. But I was doing posters for Gary, and then kind of, every year just learned something new, and here I am now. I've been doing websites and doing marketing for the last 3 years.
So Gary, what do you do?
Oh, well, hello there. How you doing? You were
Good,
talking
man.
to Ryan Perez there. Gary Bright. Well, I use a term that you can't use in grants because when you do, you won't get money. I'm an activist. I'm an activist for all sorts of change and for people who have, for one reason or another, been either disappointed or discriminated against. So I worked with several organizations, and I am now one of the founding members of the Ishin Institute. Ishin means wholehearted, one way. What we do, we find young people who have lost their way. We teach them about the beauty in themselves through music or martial art and put them on their path. And once they find their path and feel complete and whole about themselves, they're considered a wholehearted person. And Ryan has been a really good example, as well as quite a few other young people. So that's what the Ishin Institute also is an activist. I worked with at one time with the Calgary Police, sitting on the board advisory for the black community, and we brought some issues and had great resolve. So we've had many successes here under many names, but I'd like to just promote the Ishin, which is ISSHIN Institute here in Calgary.
Wow. See, it's amazing what you learn, guys. You just all these great little gems are just hiding under the surface somewhere.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, I'm a professional musician, a veteran musician, worked with the likes of the Funk Brothers and other great organizations. And when you guys brought your proposal to me, different artists have been inspired to see how far this goes because we want to put a song together and help promote what you're planning to do with disabilities. I think it's a great opportunity for people to discuss and learn and then to do something about it, because when you learn something, you're supposed to put it in motivation. And Calgary is really great at putting things in motivation.
Yeah, that seems to be a big thing for us. We well, I can't speak for everybody, but I can speak for me. I wasn't sure where this was going to go, and look where we are now, right? So, do you have a website for your Ishin association, for lack of a better term?
I'll let the webmaster.
Okay, cool. Whichever one you
I'll let
want
the
to go with
webmaster
it,
tell you
right?
that one.
Yeah, and I would like to say before I go into that Gary has been a mentor of mine since I was 17, and I went through through the institute to change my life, and he's empowered me to do a lot of things. So it's even an honor to be 15 years later to be in this room speaking about these programs. Because I've come full circle, and we can do it for so many other people as well. So it's just it's an honor to be. It's an honor for you to have us here, but it's an honor to be with my mentor at this capacity. Because I didn't, when I was 17, I didn't think that doing these sort of things were possible. But yes, I'm working on his website. He's been, I think
progress,
it's
right?
long overdue, but we're working.
So I think you got your answer.
Yes.
It's
I
future
got-
coming.
That's all right. That's okay, man. That's
I
good.
love it because now I got him in full testimony.
Yeah.
That's all right, man. That's good.
Now, in my earlier years, for 38 years, I was a master martial art instructor. I instructed the Canadian Forces in close combat, and one of my favorite programs was when I worked with a disability and teaching them how to defend themselves out in the street with if they had a cane, if they had any walking apparatus, and especially if they had a wheelchair. And I did it not only here, I did it in Ontario and a few other provinces and had a great time. But what I started to understand was when each level of discrimination and disability attacks people, it attacks them from different levels. And when I found with the ones who were visually impaired, it was very most painful to them, most of all than others, when people really chose to be mean or to just bear out bully them.
Yeah.
Being bullied most of my life growing up in Chicago, because back in the late 50s, mid 50s, they had large families where my mom was just starting, so I was the only kid. And if you went to school in 60, 61, mess with the wrong guy, you could have 13 brothers and sisters looking for you, and you only 6 years old. So you did, you learned a lot about bullyism and what you can't change. But at the same time, I came to a near-death experience with gangs in Chicago, and from that point on, I decided to use my abilities in music and martial art to train them. So for almost 40 years, I did that, and that's how I got to meet Ryan. And I have several other students that probably over the years they'll contact you and say, oh, we'll tell Gary hello or whatever.
Oh, sure.
But with the disability, I think some of the projects that are now being spawned, like some of the things that you guys are doing here and others, I see a great promise and a great gathering of people of all forms of discrimination and disabilities to work together. So it is a common issue, not a separate issue. That's what I want to make clear. As a master of martial art, we believe in complete wholeness. We don't believe in dissecting, because then now you can fractionalize anyone. What we want to do, we want to bring everybody together under the same cause and slowly work our way into helping people understand it or accepting they won't, and then they learn to have some type of penalty for it. But at any cost, in 2016, I'm proud to be living in Calgary on this planet, because I'm going to see a great change that has started with something so small. So my hat is off to you guys and what you're planning to do here, and to the university for making that opportunity become a reality.
Yeah, I myself wasn't sure if it was going to fly, and it has, and I'm the same way, because I've seen friends of mine that have committed suicide due to bullying. So that when I heard about this, I decided that this was something that was, had to be brought up, and it just got me thinking that, this is something that we can change, so let's try and all change it.
So what are you doing then?
Well,
Yeah.
me right now?
No, the project.
Right now, what we're trying to do is get localized interviews with, there's about 4 or 5 hosts, and we're trying to kind of form so people have an idea of why they want to listen. Like we have fun. Like our first show was just kind of a fun guess who we are show, and show number 2 was we had a web designer in about web accessibility, and now this is show number 3, or part of it.
Oh, okay.
And basically, I'm not sure where this is going to go, but we've got interviews on hold with AMI, at least one on hold anyway. I don't know if that's going to fly, but it could.
Right.
I could certainly send you guys that direction, but there's only 4 other shows like ours in the country. One in Vancouver, one in Ottawa, and there's a few others. But we're, I think, the only one that's really community-based.
Oh.
Okay.
Most of them are run by students.
Right.
So I think there's only one other that's community-based in Ottawa. I think the rest of them are all by students, but I could be wrong on that. But yeah, that's what our proposal is, to try and let people know that, just because we're disabled doesn't mean we can't be a part of the media.
Oh, most definitely. And it's a welcome voice, I can tell you that much, because I got friends that listen, and they keep me in touch and text me and let me know what's going on. That's why when I heard your first show, I had to laugh at it. I was sitting over in Chicago, and somebody's texting me what you guys are doing. I was dying laughing. Mom said, what's going on? I said, it's a friend of mine. He's starting a radio program. I say, he's disabled. She says, what? I said, yeah. She says, I'd like to check that out. I said, well, we have to get your computer then.
Wow, hey, that's awesome.
Because everyone thinks, that's awesome. I mean, today, everyone must fully be involved to make it a full, successful thing.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Wow, that's.
So my hat's off to you guys, man. Keep on pushing.
Yeah.
And anytime you need us, I'll definitely come in and bug you and give you a hard time.
Oh, hey, we appreciate that. we love that. We love that. So if people are looking for your project, that you're working on, how would people get a hold of the website that's actually running? The one that's not being built yet.
Right. Well, first of all, if they go into my music, because I have a few of them. If they go into my music one, the Prince of Blues, Gary Martin, a lot of that is touched on. If they go on to link it, they have my professional, where all of my professional background is there. That would be the best place to go to actually see, because not only, Lincoln is a very legitimate organization, so everything has to be verified, but at the same time, it gives them a vast history lesson of how long I've been doing this, and how many people I've been involved in, and the successes and letters and stuff, et cetera, et cetera. So they can just go on there to Gary Martin and link it, and they can find me and tap me right out. If they want to go to music, they can go to Facebook, because somebody's always filming me, and there's never a dull moment in Gary Martin's life.
No, I've learned that when I went to see you guys, that yes, there was never a dull moment in your life. One of the projects I'd like to see in the future, and I don't know if you guys want to do this, you got a harmonica player in your band who is in a wheelchair, am I correct?
Yeah, there's a fellow that comes to visit, right.
Now, is he in your band officially?
No, he comes to work with us off and on. Like most musicians are not full-time musicians, so
That's all right.
so we guys have to make sure that they still get involved.
yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, but we do. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'd like to thank you guys for coming out. I'm sure we'll hear more about your projects. One of the things we want to do on our show is put together some sort of a news project. We don't know how it's going to work yet, but like a little news blurb every month. And if you guys have any events, I'm sure we can cut some sort of deal and let people know what you and other organizations are doing. So I'd like to thank you for coming out today.
And I'd like to say the last thing to you. We'd like to thank you. And the reason we're on here, because we're supporting you. That was, the part we did not stress. We're supporting your efforts here, and we will continue to support as much as possible. I know Ryan has closing statements.
Yeah, I was going to say thank you very much. And I wanted to also mention that anyone that's interested in the OneLove project, all you have to do is go to www.oneluv.ca.
That's easy to remember, folks.
Yeah.
So I hope to keep hearing good things about you when I'm traveling out, and I'll be sending you notes and making special notes to you, okay?
Oh, that's good, man.